All right, guys, here we are. The trailer's actually at my workplace. This is the next stop. It is Saturday morning. I actually am not delivering this trailer until Monday. However, the way that the trailer dealership hours are and my dealership hours are, this is the best and the only time I could really actually pick the trailer up. The trailer dealership works Monday through Saturday. I work here at this dealership from Tuesday through Saturday, but I get out an hour later than the trailer dealership does, so that's why mornings seems to work out well. And even though the customer doesn't want the trailer until Monday, I want to leave Monday at like 5 or 6 in the morning, whereas the trailer dealership doesn't open until 9. So getting it today, Saturday, is actually ideal anyways, because then also I get a whole day in between. Not that I need a whole day, but I get some time in between picking the trailer up and delivering it that I could go over this entire thing. Go over tire pressure, go over lug nut torque, make sure there's oil or grease in the hubs, go over, this is a tilt trailer, make sure all the hydraulics work perfectly, look at the paint, adjust things. So I didn't put any air in the bags yet, so I'm going to probably put maybe 40, 50 pounds of air in my airbags. So, then I could adjust the neck of the gooseneck if I have to at that point. So I really enjoy picking the trailer up at least a day in advance, so that way I can make necessary adjustments if need be. Stay tuned. All right, guys, so today is Sunday. This was my day to do all of my checks on the trailer just to make sure everything is good before I hit the road. I actually just contacted the customer who I'm delivering this to and verified everything with him, delivery address, time, and everything like that. So like that part is good. Went down through, like I said, I like to make sure everything is good. This trailer is a 2025 Max D 102 by 24, 102 being the deck width. 8.5 foot wide. It is a deck over, 24 foot long deck over, well, gooseneck deck over. This thing's actually a gravity tilt, which most deck overs you see are going to be a power tilt. So that was kind of cool. I wanted to make sure the deck actually tilted the way it was supposed to. It's actually a split deck. It's 20 foot of tilt area, and then you have 4 foot of stationary, and that's super nice in case you're having like a skid steer with multiple attachments. You could kind of keep your brush hog, or you could keep, your broom or something like that up there. Tilt the rest to get your machine off. So the split tilt deck is actually really nice. Lug nuts on this is a 16,000 pound GVW trailer. Lug nuts on this are torqued to 240 foot-pounds, a big deal. These are actually load range H tires. They're 18 ply and they're filled up to 120 pound of air, which is pretty awesome as well. This trailer, actually nice. This is going to be the first Max D I've ever towed, but all big I-beam. Powder coat seems to look pretty good. This thing actually has a winch mount in the neck, which is awesome. Stupid stuff that I check over, make sure the toolbox actually has keys to the lock and everything like that. It's actually kind of nice because the spare tire here is actually on a swivel, because everybody knows how hard of a pain it is sometimes to get the spare tire up off the neck of the deck of the trailer. This one actually, you release that pin there, and it'll fall down, and just the small stuff. Make sure everything's connected in the bed of my truck properly. Make sure the goose is tight. Make sure the neck bolts are tight. Make sure like everything's good. Breakaways where it should be. Safety change. I always take an extra spare tire just in case I do get a flat on the road, so that way I can replace it and not have to worry about taking the customer's spare. So overall, everything is ready to go. I know my neighbors hate when I have to park up front here, but honestly, I don't have enough room in my driveway at the back of the house to fit truck and trailer. I can fit up to about a 20-foot trailer in the driveway with my truck. This is a little bit too long. So overall, I'm ready. Excited to tow this Max D. Honestly, like I said, I haven't towed one yet, so everything should be pretty good. Actually, there's one more thing. It was kind of cool. There's a stop valve on the tilt, so that way, if you do want to tilt the deck and have it stopped in the upward position, you can actually twist that and have all the hydraulics stopped, have the flow stop and everything. So I'll stop rambling because I am still getting over a little sickness, so you can probably tell my brain's still a little foggy, but everything's good here. Customer's good, and well, get some sleep here tonight, and I'll see you guys in the morning. We'll tow this bad boy down to West Virginia. far, about an hour and a half in since I left, and you know, no complaints so far. I mean, I'm averaging almost 15 miles per gallon at this point, which is awesome, because on my cost sheet I estimated that I would get maybe about 12. Now, I do generally try to estimate on the low side, so that way I know my cost is getting covered, obviously, for everything. And I'll go down my cost sheet here momentarily. But yeah, so far so good. This Max D seems to be pulling pretty well. I mean, it's a brand new trailer. I don't see why it wouldn't. It is a little bit lighter than what I had anticipated, though. The trailer itself, the empty weight's only 4,600 pounds. That's right off the certificate of origin. But yeah, so far so good. I did forget to mention, though, this being a tilt trailer, I'm not sure if anybody else would have picked it up. The axles on this trailer are actually more far forward on this trailer than they would be a traditional gooseneck or traditional trailer in general, which is good and bad, right? It just depends on your situation, right? You know, trailer axles are probably about 3/4 of the way back on the trailer. Gives you your traditional trailer swing when you're turning. Gives you, you know, whatever. On a tilt trailer, the axles are almost on the middle, like the direct middle of the trailer. And the reason for that is so that way you can get a really low tilt angle, because if the axles were all the way back here, in order to get the tail to the ground, it'd have to tip up like 30-40 degrees. When the axles are moved forward, it allows that angle to be a lot less, you know, a lot less steep. Therefore, you can get, you know, equipment and cars and stuff like that on a tilt trailer without any issues. So it's good for, you know, when you're actually loading up and doing tilt trailer things. However, it's not good for just like towing trailers empty, because if the axles are like right in the middle of the trailer, they're kind of bouncy because there's not a whole lot of tongue weight on the truck. And a lot of these big overpasses I'm going on over, you could like feel it, like want to pick up, like on my gooseneck ball and stuff, you kind of hear it. And same thing, even when I pull bumper pull units on my BMW on the back, you could feel empty if they don't have a whole lot of tongue weight, because they'll just sit there and want to pick up all the time. Not a big deal either way. I'm not complaining about it. I'm just, you know, pointing out something to you guys. But I do actually think that this is the ultimate, it's the ultimate side hustle. It at least is for me. Now, two big requirements are you have to enjoy driving and you have to enjoy towing trailers around. Both things I'm a huge fan of. I love driving. I love seeing different things. For me, driving is my me time. It's my quiet time. So for the past, man, these roads are awful. For me, the past 5 years, I've been in sales roles, which in sales roles, as you could assume, I talk to people for a living 5 days a week. Honestly, it kills, for me at least, my experience. When I leave work, I don't want to talk to another soul, which kind of sucks, because like I have no interest in talking to my friends, my family, my nothing, because I literally answer the phone and talk to people person to person all day long. It absolutely kills me, you know, in my personal life, for wanting to ever talk to anybody. So honestly, sitting here driving for hours at a time, sometimes I'll do this for days, you know, for like an overnight or something like that. It's absolutely perfect. I enjoy driving. It's peaceful. I don't have to answer my phone. I don't have to talk to anybody. It's great. I am talking to you guys right now, of course. And then, like, I like pulling trailers. It's an enjoyable thing. And it also kind of works out that I do have a really good working relationship with this trailer dealer. If I was a hotshot truck driver that I had to sit there on load boards and use brokers and stuff like that and drive at like $1.30 a mile, honestly, I probably wouldn't do this at all. But the fact that I have a really good working relationship with this trailer dealer, and the fact that I, you know, am able to charge what I charge for deliveries, it makes it worth it to me. So getting into charging and what I charge for deliveries, this is where the real and full-time hotshot truck drivers are probably going to comment mean things down in the comments below. So I do apologize, and please go a little bit easy on me. I do this part-time. I do work a full-time job, so this is my free time. This is my day off. So I do charge for it. I don't move my truck under $3 per mile. Now, that might seem like a lot to you, but that is one way. That is loaded. So this gentleman right now, my house to this guy's house is 230 miles. If you times that by 3, that's $690. You know, round up to $700 to make it easy. This trip right here is paying me $700. Out of this $700, I should profit about 550 of that. Let me explain. On my way down, 230 miles, I assumed that I would get about 12 miles per gallon. Like I said, I'm getting closer to 15, which is obviously a bonus in my end, but I assumed I would get about 12 miles per gallon, which would, you know, average that I'm consuming around 19 gallons of diesel fuel. 19 gallons of diesel fuel at $4.15 per gallon, which is what the going rate is up in Pennsylvania, I should be spending roughly $80 in fuel. Of that $80 in fuel, I should also be spending about $6 in turnpike tolls, that is with the trailer. So total on my trip down, I'm spending like 86 bucks. Not too crazy. On my return trip home, I'm estimating that I should get around 18 miles per gallon, which should be about average with like winter fuel mix and everything like that being empty. I should get about 18 miles per gallon. I should be using, you know, roughly maybe 13 gallons of diesel fuel at the same $4.15 a gallon. I'm spending maybe like 53 bucks on fuel and only $2 in tolls going home. Round that up to 150 bucks, take $150 out of my 700 I'm charging this guy, I'm making 550 bucks. That's pretty good money. Now, this trip is a lot shorter and smaller and everything that a lot of my other trips are, but typically, after I take my expenses out, I make around $50 per hour. Now, this trip is only taking me down 4 hours and back 4 hours, so I'm gonna have 8 hours. So I'm making over $50 an hour at this point, you know, this trip specifically, but I'd say most trips average about 50 bucks an hour. I do $3 a mile. So, I mean, if I'm taking a trailer 1,000 miles, you're getting charged $3 grand. Now, there is a little bit of gray area. If I'm able to go west at all, like out near Indiana specifically, I will normally work with the guy on his trip out because I know I'm going to get paid coming home as well. Because if I go anywhere out west, then I could, you know, pick a camper up on my way home or pick a, you know, a stack of trailers up or something like that at a manufacturer's plant on my way home. You know, I'm getting paid from the dealership at that point to bring these trailers or campers back from the plants. So I'll normally work with the guy on, you know, going out. But yeah, typically, I mean, I do this on the side, so it's $3 a mile. I know, like I said, I know a lot of hotshot guys might be pretty upset with me at this point. I'm not taking your work, dude. I just got a good working relationship with the dealership. I'm super lucky and fortunate to have. And, you know, this does make me pretty good money. Now, I'll be honest, this is my first delivery in 4 months. It's February right now, February 2025. I haven't delivered since November of 24. However, back in October and November, I did like 6 deliveries back to back. So, I don't know, I probably do at least a dozen a year to, you know, at minimum, probably somewhere between like 10 and 25 deliveries a year. I guess it just depends on, you know, what people want delivered and stuff like that, right? I'm also fortunate enough that with that trailer company, I also do get to haul campers to and from the RV shows down in Pittsburgh, which is awesome as well. I would say on average, I make at least $10,000 extra per year delivering trailers, obviously sometimes more if I do more deliveries and if I do further deliveries. I will do overnight deliveries. I go down to Georgia and, you know, spend the night and come back home, and, you know, I'll go all the way up to the top of Michigan, spend the night, you know, pick something up on my way home in Indiana and come home, get paid both ways. I've had a couple trips, like I did that one Michigan trip where I made like $3 grand on that entire trip. Now, it did take my entire time off from my day job, but making $3 grand for a weekend is pretty good money. There's zero chance that I made $3 grand that entire week at work. So to me, it's absolutely worth it if you could get, you know, if you could get into like the, well, if you could get into the right situation, right? Now, you do obviously have to be super careful. I guess you could qualify me as a non-CDL hotshot truck driver. However, I don't do this full time, so I don't consider myself an actual hotshot truck driver. But, you know, you do have to make sure you have all your legalities, right? Like DOT card and everything like that. I don't have a CDL. I wish I did. I almost had a CDL. I actually took my CDL permit test, and I had my permit, and I was studying and I was practicing and everything like that to take my actual CDL test so I could habits, and I was doing that in a manual truck so that way I can have that endorsement. I also was doing my tanker endorsement, hazmat, doubles and triples endorsements. I was trying to get set up so that way I could do CDL driving if I wanted to. However, back in 2020, when I was doing that, everything was just super busy. Life was super busy for me. I never got to take my actual test. Therefore, my CDL permit has expired. And, you know, fast forward to today, you can't just go take a CDL test anymore like you used to. You got to go to school and pay for it and stuff like that, which honestly probably limits my odds of ever getting my CDL a lot, just because, like, having the time to do stuff like that, right? So I am technically, I guess, a non-CDL truck driver. So you got to make sure your paperwork's in line, got to make sure you have proper insurance, make sure you have DOT card, you know, things of that nature. It's not just hopping in a truck and driving, right? I've done this enough that I have, you know, the right amount of tools for the job, what I need in my truck in case I have any incidents, you know, things of that nature. So I do take this extremely seriously because it does make me a lot of extra money, which is nice. And I will absolutely continue to do it, man. If somebody had a delivery for me every week of the year, I will take a delivery every single week of the year. And for anybody who is saying, John, what about the wear and tear in your truck? Honestly, dude, I'm not worried about the wear and tear in this truck. I bought this truck to make me money. I know I flex and stuff like that on social media, and I like to make it look nice, but like, it's not a show truck. It never was a show truck. This is a work truck that also just looks good. And honestly, I don't daily drive this truck, so I'm not really worried about the wear and tear. This truck sits in my driveway for the most part 5 days a week. I have other vehicles that I drive to work and back. This truck comes out normally like on the weekends and, you know, in instances like this when I need to make some money. All right, guys, just took a quick stop at a rest stop, and everything does seem to be going pretty good so far. Anytime I stop, I always like to try to do at least one quick little walk around of the truck and trailer, make sure everything is still exactly where it needs to be. Now, like I said, this is a super short run, so there's nothing crazy that I have to really worry about. Tires and everything are in good shape. These are, like I said, these are the big 18 ply tires. So normally you don't really have a whole lot of issues with them when I do my walk around. You know, if I have something with like 3,500 pound axles, only like a 6-ply tire, that's a different story at that point. But everything is here where it should be. And we're about like maybe 60 miles out from the customer. So we'll get that done here, and we'll, I'll be in touch. Pulling away from the stop here, we'll give her a little bit of beans. Listen to some eargasm. So good. All right, this right here is Final Destination. The owner of this trailer is back behind that truck right now. Just gotta get her unloaded. All right, guys, just leaving where I just dropped the trailer off. So currently, just figured I'd touch base, show you real quick. 225 miles, 14.1 mile per gallon, and 4 hours and 20 minutes since I left my house. Overall, I don't think that was a bad trip at all. Guy was super nice, super friendly. I'm gonna stop now and get some food and some fuel. Two quick things of if anybody is curious while I'm filling up on diesel fuel. I run Hot Shots EDT, the Hot Shot Secrets Everyday Fuel Treatment. And also, gooseneck setup, I run the B&W ball setup. The most two common are gonna be this one or the Kurt. I like this one just because I think it's a lot construction better. However, the B&W setup does sit kind of higher. If you notice, like my trailers typically do sit kind of nose high, and I think it does have a lot to do with how high this ball sits in the bed. If you do one of the Kurt system and Kurt setups, it actually sits basically flush. And so it brings the gooseneck, I don't know, brings the gooseneck down probably another 2 inches on your bed, which means it's 2 inches lower, you know, in general. So word for thought, I'll link this in the description below because this is what I like to use. So otherwise, going to keep on filling up on fuel. It's actually only $3.96 down here, so look at that, I'm already ahead of the game. Gonna get some fuel treatment, gonna get some food, and I'll see you guys at the house. Oh, and look at that, she stopped short of $100, so I'm way ahead. All right, guys, just pulled into my driveway. Here we are, 450 miles total on the clock, 18 miles per gallon on my trip home, and just under 8 hours, so not bad. I'm going to try to keep doing this as long as I possibly can. Like I said, I'm super grateful and thankful for the trailer dealership that I have the relationship with, that I can do stuff like this. If you're looking to get into it, please completely stay away from my trailer dealer in my area, because that's my job. Otherwise, truck did really well as always. It was a nice 8-hour day, and I made $700. So realistically, I got $100 into fuel, a couple dollars into tools, and hey, I'll pocket $600 for an 8-hour day. Not a big deal. So, anyways, this is my favorite side hustle, if you will. And I'm sure a lot of other people have better things, and I'm sure a lot of people are going to be hating in the comments of this video. If you've stuck around so far and this long, thank you so much. Like the video if you haven't already. Subscribe, join the family, join all the Cummins content, because I actually do have a lot of stuff coming for this truck. I got a bunch of stuff in the garage here that I bought over the winter months, so I had content for the spring. And thank you guys. Peace.